Diaries Baking Edition. So it is 10:55. It's very late at night, and I've decided to go with a chocolate cake with whipped salted whipped salted caramel ganache. Yeah, now it's perfect. So we have over here 1 cup maida, yeah, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 4 tablespoons of milk powder, and a cup of milk, vanilla essence, and we have and in here I have approximately 3/4 cup of powdered sugar with 2 tablespoons of malai and around 1 tablespoon of oil. Now I have the habit of winging stuff, so if I do not have something, I just replace it with something else, and it usually turns out fine. So yes, you'll see a bit of that today too. So I do not know how much of cocoa powder I want to add today, although I do know I want to make it a chocolate cake, but I don't want it too chocolatey, so I might go for 2.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So let's get along. So first, whisk all the wet ingredients along with powdered sugar. It's gonna take a while for everything to dissolve properly. After a lot of stirring and stirring and okay, so now we have to add the wet ingredients, that is milk, and the dry ingredients, that is maida or all-purpose flour, milk powder, baking soda, and baking powder in batches. So let us start with the dry ones first, because I can just mix this all together actually. Now continue doing the same with until both the dry and wet ingredients are completely mixed. Now all the wet and dry ingredients are mixed excepting the vanilla essence and cocoa powder. So I've decided to go with like a tablespoon and a half of cocoa powder. So I'm just gonna add it. You can sieve it, but it never made a difference to me. So I'm just gonna do it. And a dash of vanilla essence. And mix away again. And while you're mixing away, you can go and preheat your oven to 180 degrees centigrade, and along with that, line your baking tin with parchment paper or baking sheet and butter it up too, so that it doesn't stick to the sides along with the bottom of your base. And again, continue mixing until you're done with all your lumps, and nothing should be there, and then you know that you have the perfect aerated batter. So now I have my batter ready and the baking tray lined, and the oven's also ready at 180 degrees centigrade. So now pour your batter in. So everything's ready. Now I will go pop this in the oven and get ready with the salted caramel part to make my ganache. Bye bye. Now we're making the caramel that I'm supposed to pour over 1 cup of roughly chopped chocolate. You can use milk chocolate or dark chocolate, it's up to you. So now what we do is we have to let the granulated sugar, so that is approximately 1 cup of granulated sugar, pour it in a saucepan and let it turn into golden brown or amber color. Okay, so once it starts on medium flame, medium to slow flame, and once it starts boiling up, add half a cup of butter, softened butter at room temperature, and stir vigorously because it's going to seize up. And after that, add approximately 1 cup of heavy cream. Now you can modify the amount of cream you want based on whether you want it liquidy or a bit more thicker caramel sauce. If you want a thicker caramel sauce, you'd add less cream in it. If you want a more runny caramel sauce, then add more cream to it. So now we're just waiting for this to turn golden and boil completely, the sugar. It's gonna take a while, but it will come there slowly. The sugar in the right state, and it's gonna start browning now. Be very careful when you add the butter because it's gonna bubble and you do not want it to fall on you. And it will spring up too, so you don't need to panic. That is how it works. Mix it nicely. It's okay, you might not be able to see through the bubbles. It's fine. It's gonna work perfectly fine. That is assurance for myself. And now it's time to add the cream. Be very careful again. So now we have the roughly chopped chocolate over here and the hot sauce, hot caramel sauce in this pan. So pour as at least half of it, depending on the quantity, around half a cup to 1 cup of the caramel sauce you make. And now once you pour it, mix the chocolate so that it melts with the heat of the caramel sauce. So it's almost done. But I still feel that I can add a little more caramel to it, so I will be doing that. That's enough. Now mix. And mix. And voila, it's done. Caramel ganache is prepared. Now we need to freeze this for a while. So hello guys. After yesterday night, I was drained out of energy. I had absolutely no energy. Now I'm rejuvenated, back to poised me. So I've got my caramel ganache from yesterday and I whipped it for like maybe 5 minutes. It's a bit runny, so I'd suggest you guys to freeze it quite often or put it in like a ice bowl so that it doesn't become too runny. And here I have sugar syrup with a bit of coffee powder in it. Maybe I think it'll enhance the flavors, so I just added some in. And here we have the cake. I cut it into into a half so that I could have one layer of cake and then some caramel ganache and then whipped caramel ganache and then another layer of cake and then frost the whole thing. So let's get started. Now first dab the cake board with a little bit of frosting so that the cake can stay. You don't need that much, but like I just did. Watch out that it's not dripping all over the cake. So just be a bit composed while doing it. And don't add too little. Okay, So I added the sugar syrup. Now to the part I dread the most right now. Ganache. No, actually don't. So now I think my life would be much more easier if I do it with a spoon. So here I am attempting to make ends meet with a spoon. We add a few chocolate chips. Not required, but extra is always good, isn't it? And to add a bit of color to it, just a few. I'm gonna use these more on the top of the cake. Once you put the other half of the cake, add the syrup again on top. Be generous with it as usual. Doesn't it always work that way? Nothing stays where you want it to stay. So like, I'm not surprised.
That is life.
So I've frosted the cake and I've also put it inside the fridge for a while so that it could get a bit harder. So I could also top it up with the choco chips and the sugar balls. So I wanted to go for like a border of choco chips. I think that's enough. So we're done.